It's stressful enough when you're just buying a home, but what if you're selling your current home and buying one at the same time so that you can relocate? How does that work? Coming right up. Welcome back. Rob Brown with Century 21 Select Real Estate and YLPRealtor.com. YLP stands for Yosemite Lakes Park, which is in Coarse Gold, California. We're up here and we have several mountain communities of Coarse Gold, Bass Lake, Oakhurst, Ahwahnee, and Mariposa. In the last few months, I've helped no less than 5 customers relocate to or from Yosemite Lakes Park, and I've helped them sell their home and also purchase their home wherever they're buying. When you're doing that at the same time, this video is all about mitigating the stress when you're doing two real estate transactions at the same time. Now, I transact real estate in the state of California. If you're in another state, a lot of these concepts will probably be the same, but some of the specifics may be a little bit different. So make sure you consult a local realtor when you're thinking about selling your home and buying your home, relocating. And that could be just across town or across the United States. Same thing applies. So as a buyer, if you don't have to sell your home before you purchase another one, that actually gives you leverage in negotiation. If you have to sell your home before you buy another home, there is a stipulation that you would put in the offer on the new home called a contingency. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the reason you're able to leverage negotiations when you're buying a home, if you don't have to sell your home first, let's think about multiple offer situation. If there are, let's just say, 2 buyers, you and one other one, and they have to sell their home, so there's a contingency in the offer that before they can close escrow on the home they're purchasing, the same one you're making an offer on, they have to sell their home. On the other hand, you don't have to sell your home, so your offer is not contingent upon closing escrow on the sale of your current home. That is going to be more enticing to the seller because they don't have to worry whether or not you're going to sell your home or whether your buyer is going to back out of your home. It's one less cog in the gear of the real estate transaction that they're going to be worried about when they're selling their home. However, there's a lot of people, myself included in the past, where you have to sell your home because you need the proceeds of that home sale to purchase the next home, whether you're upgrading, just relocating, downsizing. I've seen it all, and this is how this is going to work. Now listen, this sounds like it's going to be a lot, and it can actually be a little bit overwhelming, but it is absolutely doable. And I'm going to dive right in because I want you to know how this goes. And while it is stressful, your realtor's job is to mitigate as much of that stress and make this a seamless transaction. Because basically the organization and the management of the process and the timelines in both transactions really is important. And that's why it's so important to make sure you're choosing the right realtor that's knowledgeable and experienced in doing this sort of a transaction. So let's talk about the first thing that you need to do if you're selling your home and you're also buying a home at the same time. The first thing that you need to do is focus on the sale of your current home. And here's the reason why. I've seen a lot of buyers come to me and say, hey, I want to take a look at some homes where I'm thinking about buying, but my home isn't in escrow yet, or my home isn't on the market yet, my current home that is. So what happens is we go out, we take a look at some properties, and lo and behold, they find that dream home and that dream property that they really want to make an offer on. So we have to make an offer contingent on the sale of their current home. But guess what? it's not even on the market yet, or it's not even in escrow yet. And that's a problem, because if I were the listing agent representing the seller and I received an offer that was contingent upon the buyer's sale of their current home, but it wasn't even on the market yet, or it was not in escrow, I'd look at that seller and I'd say, hey guys, I'm not sure this is a real offer yet, because they don't even have their house in escrow or even on the market yet. And most sellers will reject that offer, and especially if there's a multiple offer situation. Now, if it's been on the market for 180 days, that might be a little bit different, but in most cases, it's not an attractive offer when you make an offer contingent on the sale of your current home and that home is not in escrow or not even on the market yet. So that's the first thing. You need to focus on the sale of your home, and that means prepping your home for sale, getting it ready, decluttering, all the things, and that's a whole nother video, but all the things that you need to do to prep your home for getting it on the market. Then list it in the MLS with your realtor and get that in the market. And in most cases, you want to get it in escrow before you actually make an offer on another house. So now let's talk about that. So before we get into the rest of the steps, let's talk about choosing your realtor, because this is really important. In fact, it's super important depending on whether you're moving across town, maybe across county, or across the United States. If you're moving within, say, an hour, hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, you may be able to find an agent that's experienced in both of the markets, the one that you're selling in and the one that you are moving to. If that's the case, that is a perfect world. And the reason is because that one agent can coordinate and manage the process for both transactions and make sure that all the dates in both escrows jive so that it becomes a less stressful situation for you and you don't become homeless. I'm just kidding. You're not going to become homeless. But here's the thing. You do want to be able to rely on your realtor to manage the process. So now let's talk about the next step. Once you have your home on the market and you have a pretty good idea that you're getting some traction and you're having some showings, now's the time to start looking for a home where you're going to move to. And now you may make several trips. It depends on how far away it is. But the bottom line is, once your home is in escrow, the one that you're selling is in escrow, it's a great time to start looking and making that final search to find your home and make an offer contingent on the sale of your current home. Okay, so I talked about how it would work if you're only maybe an hour or two away and you're able to use the same agent. What if you're not able to use the same agent because you're moving 5 hours away, or maybe even across the United States or to another state? So most agents, myself included, would like to refer you to another agent. And the reason is because we know that we can work with that agent and coordinate the two transactions, even if they are across the United States. I have a network of agents in multiple states, and that is something that we can do. We can vet other agents for you and refer you during your relocation. Okay, so the next step is maybe you get an offer on the sale of your home, and that offer is for a 30-day escrow. There will be terms to their offer, one of them being how many days do you have before you have to close escrow. If it comes in at 30 and you're thinking about purchasing another home, or you definitely are purchasing another home that's going to be contingent on the sale of this home, then you definitely want to have your agent counter that offer with a 45 or maybe even longer escrow. Now, it's important that your agent communicate with the other agent and see what the buyer needs are. 60 days may be too long, but most buyers can go 45 days with the close of escrow, and it's good that your agent can counter on that to give you time to prep the sale and the closing of your escrow and any repairs that may need to be done. At the same time, you're making an offer and going to be closing escrow on the home that you're purchasing and you're going to move to. Okay, so how does it work when you get down to the bottom line? You're getting ready to close escrow on two homes, the one that you're selling and the one that you're buying. Normally what happens is the home that you're selling closes escrow. Let's say today's Monday and you're closing escrow. It's possible but not probable that you're going to close escrow on both of them on the same day. And here's the reason why. The title company that's handling the sale of your home has to have time to electronically transfer the funds to the title company that is handling the purchase of your new home. It may be the same title company, but there's going to be a wire transfer involved, and it may or may not be able to happen on the same day. So in most cases, if you close escrow today, the title company will wire the funds to the other title company that's handling the purchase of your home, and that will happen either late in the afternoon or even the next morning, and you'll probably close escrow the next day. Okay, so now you're getting down to the final days of escrow, and you're getting ready to close escrow on the sale of your home, and you know that it's going to take a day or two to close escrow on the purchase of your home. So you're thinking, wait a minute, Rob, you told me I wasn't going to be homeless, right? Well, here's how that works. There's another term, there's another amendment to the contract called a seller in possession in California real estate, that is. It may be called something else, but I'm sure in your state you have something similar. So a seller in possession allows the seller of a home to stay in possession of that home for a set number of days. Could be 3, 5, 7, or even more days, depending on what's going on in your situation. So in this situation, let's say you might close 2 days after the sale of your home on the purchase of your other home. So you're probably going to want maybe a 5-day seller in possession clause in your contract that allows you to stay in possession of your home that you're selling so that you can prepare to move all your stuff and all your belongings and get the house cleaned up for the buyers so that you can have time to close on your other home and move into it before the buyers of your home take possession. That sounds really complicated, but trust me, it's actually a pretty simple process and a simple way to ensure you have time after you sell your home to move all of your stuff and vacate the premises in time to move into your next home. So listen, if you have a good agent, during these transactions, there is a great deal that is going on behind the scenes. You won't know about most of the communication with the other agent and title companies that's going on between your agent and those entities. But it's happening, and it's happening on a daily basis because your agent needs to stay on top of it and stay organized and manage the process of these escrows and the contingency deadlines within both escrows. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any content that's coming up. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them in the comments down below because other people probably have the same question and I'll be glad to answer anything for you. Or better yet, if you're in the area or you're thinking about moving to the Coarse Gold, California area, give me a call, 559-580-2370. 559-580-2370. That's my cell phone. I'm the one that answers it. I'd be glad to help.